Hey guys, hope everyone's enjoying their summer. I really want to share this lock with you. It is just a beast of a combination padlock. I haven't seen anything like this before. I got it from an antique dealer and he showed it to me and I knew I had to have it immediately. I don't really have a history on this lock. I know it's old. I mean, like real old. I'm guessing around 50 years old or older. They really don't make locks like this anymore. It's probably like from Europe or Eastern Europe, somewhere around there, even though there's no company name on this. The only markings on this are, it looks like it says like 4-10. I'm not sure what that number means. Anyway, this is one of my new favorite locks. It's so unique and has some really weird features about it. And I'll go over those with you in the next section. But just to let you know, for a combination padlock, this is maybe the biggest I've ever seen. It's a square, and each side is 80 millimeters, and this thing weighs around 3 pounds. That's like 1.4 kilos, and just a awesome, really fun lock to play around with and show off. The shackle's super thick too, so I mean, I wouldn't even mind using this padlock. This is one of those locks where, you know, you don't have anything to lock it with it, you know, but you just desperately want to use it because it's so cool. You know, I mean, I would love to be seen using this lock because, you know, people would walk up and ask about it and stuff like that. So this is a lock I love to share. And yeah, I'll go over some of its cool features in the upcoming sections. All right, so let's go over the dial on this thing because I found it really, really interesting. What you've noticed probably already from the last section is that this thing doesn't spin freely. It's not like, you know, a dial on a safe or a bank vault. It doesn't like spin quickly. This one stops with a distinct click on every number it passes, right? And it's not easy. In fact, these like ridges on here will wear down your fingers pretty quickly. And let's just talk about the numbers really fast because there's two sets of numbers. Is 1 to 15 on this outside number line, and on the dial itself it goes from 0 to 49, so there's 50 numbers, right? And one design feature that I thought was really interesting is that, you know, it's double-sided, right? So I thought, okay, is it double-sided because you just have to use one dial? And it's like reversible, like you could lock it on this side and you could lock it on this side? Or is it double-sided because you need to manipulate both sides? Well, you would think that, oh, obviously you have to do both sides, otherwise they wouldn't, you know, waste the time and energy to do both sides. But then I thought, okay, you know, if this is locked like this, though, you're not going to be able to turn the lock around to like manipulate it. You'd have to flip it up and like do it upside down, which I thought was pretty weird. I mean, I guess that's kind of reasonable. You can do that, but I've just never seen a lock where you'd have to actually flip it upside down and mess with the other side. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you couldn't turn it around if it's locked on like something pretty tight. So yeah, another thing I realized was I'm like, okay, so I have no idea what the numbers on the outside mean, honestly. But the numbers on the dial, I guess that makes sense. That just tells you if you line it up with this marker right here, you could see what number you're on. But I realized something pretty quick, and you'll see that on this side here, we're going to go click through, and you could tell me that they stop only on all the even numbers. You could see that again. We'll do it. We'll start at 0. We're at 2, 4. We're going to skip 5, 6, you know, 8. We're going to go on 10, right? I'm like, alrighty, so let's check the other side. And we'll see that, look, it doesn't even go on 0. So 0 can represent 50, I suppose, because look, this is a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. It doesn't stop on 10. So it actually only has 25 numbers on each side. So it has 50 listed, but it only stop on half on this side and half on this side. So that'll cut down the number of possible combinations. And so another thing I was thinking about was how many times do you have to spin this on this side? Do you have to like go to like one number here, then another number here, then another number here? And then I kind of like concluded that that wouldn't be likely because it's so hard to spin. Like it's so difficult and it kind of hurts, after a little bit to like keep spinning this thing because of the friction. So I came to the conclusion that for sure you probably only just had to stop on one number on this side and one number on this side because I just, it's a unique, crazy, cool lock, but I really don't think they would have designed it for you like to struggle on this side and just, like get your hands all, calloused and then you have to flip it over and do it on this side. I was almost certain for sure you just have to pick a number on this side and pick a number on this side. And, if it was 50 numbers on each side, that would be, like 2,500 different combos. And if it was 25 numbers on each side, that would be around over 600. So if even if it's just 25 on each side, that's still a difficult thing to try to test every number and manipulate open using this because it's just so hard to use quickly. So brute forcing this thing out in the wild, even with 25 on each side, wouldn't be really that feasible. I guess you'd have to do it in sessions. So I needed to try to find a way to crack this padlock without brute forcing it just because, I don't know, that takes way too long and it's not as fun. So I was messing around trying to find a way where I could crack this code much faster, and I'm going to talk about how I did that in the next section. Okay, so sometimes in lock sport, you need all skill. Sometimes it's just all luck, and sometimes it's a combination of both. This time, I think I got more lucky than anything, but I don't know, because I don't know too much about combination padlocks, but I just tried to use some reasoning that I've read about and that I've heard before, and just play around with it. It took me a couple hours, but this is how I finally cracked this lock. So I decided, all right, there's a shackle, 2 locking elements. If this side is on the right number, it's going to move something out of the way. And then if this side is on the right number, it's going to move the other thing out of the way and free the shackle, right? So you need one number on this side, one number on this side. And because this lock is old and it's not too high tech, I'm thinking, right, when the correct number is going to have something different about it than all the other numbers, right? Because instead of just clicking along, it's going to move something out of the way. So what I did was I said, let me just pick a side, and I'm going to flip through these one by one, and I'm going to try to listen just using my ears and my fingers for any differences in the click. So the noise of the click and the sound of the click, because all of them should be the same except for that magic one that we have to find. And trust me, this did not go smoothly. I had to do this for a long time to kind of train my ears to what I was listening for. And I just went through so many times until I could have swore I felt and heard something different on the number 28. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. I don't know if you could hear this or not. I'm just going to go through, and then you tell me if you can hear it on the number 28. So let's just go through. One more. Did you hear that? I felt, and then the next one, you could tell, at least I can, that it's different. So I feel like these are crisp clicks. But when it gets on a 28, it's just not quite as crisp. It's like more of a thudding. I'm going to do it again for those who want to listen. I don't know if the mic can pick this up clearly, but I'll do it one more time. Right, so this is on 24. Did you hear that? It was like, I don't know. Sorry if I sound crazy, but that's definitely not as a distinct of a click. It was kind of more like of a mushy click, kind of like muffled, right? So after coming to this reasoning, I was like, no, that's definitely different than all the other clicks. I'm just going to leave this here and I'm going to mess around with this side. Okay? So what happened was, and this is where the pure luck comes in, because I'm like, all right, let me mess around with this side. And I start going through, just like this, listening. listening for the clicks, listening for the clicks. Let me fast forward this for you. So I'm just going through. I can't listen. I can't find any difference. I keep going. I'm going. And then all of a sudden something happens. If you realize it's stuck. It won't spin anymore. I wasn't even looking at the dials. I was holding this next to my ears. And this thing stopped spinning. I said, "What the heck? It's locked up." Right? And I checked the shackle and it is open. And the lock is cracked. So we could see that the combination on this side is 28 and on this side it is 41. So this is where I found something else strange with this lock, because I said, well, if this is locked up, how are you supposed to lock it again, right? So I want to lose the combination, right? But it's locked up. So I flipped it around. By the way, this shackle is 14 millimeters, so it's a pretty cool thick shackle. But I flipped it around, and then look, now it's locked. I didn't change anything. I'm going to flip it around here, and the shackle's open. But I just flip it around this way, and it's locked. I don't know why. Because if you had the right combination, but I had the wrong orientation, you would think it was the wrong combination. Pretty crazy, huh? So if you wanna open it, it's got to be like tilted this way, and then you got to close it, and then you got to flip it around. Then you could start losing the combination again. So now it's like scrambled. But yeah, there it is. My massive, huge, really weird, but one of my favorite combination padlocks. I hope this was an interesting video. I know it's a little long, but it's just so weird. There's so many things to talk about. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to make more videos soon.